Hello. Test, test, test. Is everybody here? It looked like it got reconnected. What the heck? What the heck? I saved the game just to be careful, but it looks like we're okay. Are we back? Hello. Hello, Corgi. I think we're back. I think it's okay. Lag and disconnect, new stream starting. Oh, great, which means I have to export 2 different streams now. That's great. That's fine. Don't know why that happens. Sorry. But hopefully it doesn't happen again. I guess we can just keep continuing. So strange. I don't get it. Twitch says you're offline. Give it a second. I'm not. I'm definitely still streaming. It says I've been streaming for 1 hour and 1 minute. So if you like refresh the page, then I'm sure it'll be fine. Anyway, if you missed it, they were just talking about the moon fair and the moonflower and how like 100 years ago, you know, something bad happened and they're not talking about that at all in the speech. They're just treating this like a social event, you know? I hope I caught it fast enough. I think we can look at history. There you go. Oh gosh. There you go. Take a minute to read up and see if you missed anything. I'll take a minute to take a drink. This stream only 2 minutes so far. Yeah. This part of the stream. What happens is it just gets cut into 2 different parts. It's still the same stream. Like it has the same title and all the same stuff. It's just, it gets broken up. That's all that happens. Unfortunately, it's because I think it's probably because I'm on Wi-Fi and I don't have an Ethernet cable or anything, so that kind of sucks. I had an Ethernet cable running from the router or whatever, running from all the way over in the living room, running all the way into my room. Could probably run it along the wall, but we would trip on it if we don't like... It's... Unless you put it like up on the ceiling. Like if you ran it from the living room to my room, but once you get to the hallway, you put the wire up on the ceiling. And then, but it's just too much work. It's too far away. So sorry, but stream is gonna disconnect sometimes because my connection is not like completely stable. Anyway, are you all caught up? Basically, you know, it should be kind of more like a memorial service, but instead they're making it into a party. You know, like party with food and wine and dancing and all that stuff. Anyway, the moonflower was a fable, a story passed around the kingdom to explain the difference in their technology to that of the other kingdoms. Magical items and augmented alchemy, a story that parents could tell their children. Very few legitimately believed the moonflower was an actual flower, though it was the topic for much debate that never really led anywhere. Truly believing it was an immortal flower that generated magic was not a believable possibility for the masses. Not that I can blame them for that. The best way to describe the moonflower was a fairy tale, a delicate princess locked away in a tower to protect her from the world. No one save the moonseer and the ruling monarch was permitted to even see the magical flora, and lately not even the moonseer was permitted access. He often wondered exactly how the common people viewed the event and what they knew of the flower, of the history of the kingdom. The official history was indeed drastically different to the actual events, particularly when it came to the acquisition of the moonflower. What is this festival all about, you ask yourselves, this insurmountable power held by this prestigious kingdom? Our glorious kingdom is a relatively young one of a mere— oh. I think he's continuing to talk. Our glorious kingdom is a relatively young one of a mere thousand years, damn. Our origins are one of bloodshed, driven from our previous home by war. Our kind and benevolent king sought a new home. Oh, he wouldn't say that. Or no, before. The king before him, I think. I don't even know if he's talking anymore. Landing on the shores of what would become the glorious Ashmire, our first king was gifted a magnificent land by the stars themselves, a fertile and lush region filled with nothing as far as the eye could see. On the ashes of his former land, he dubbed this new land Ashmire, a reminder of what was lost and a celebration of a people rising from the ashes to start anew. Before long, the herbalists in the company of the king discovered an unknown flower, one that glowed bright in the moonlight. This flower would become the crescent for our new nation. Strange occurrences would begin to occur around the flower. Wounds would heal quicker, fatigue would disappear, even age would appear to begin to reverse. Skylar felt the elf beside him tense. Everything the king said was a lie. Oh, propaganda, the kingdom told itself to justify its campaign of blood and fire, but it was one he was used to hearing. All efforts to protect this unique plant would be taken. Should its nature be discovered, our illustrious king feared for the safety of the new kingdom. And he was right to. Word spread of the flower, and war once more faced the people of Ashmire. Men not of mortal flesh had come for what was theirs. The king sighed, clutching at his heart with a theatrical despair. Many years it took to once more emerge victorious, but at a devastating cost. As fire ravaged the newborn kingdom, most of the fields containing this beloved flower were destroyed. What remained, the king tasked the loyal herbalists and arcanists to harvest and protect. Thus, construction on the crystal garden commenced. The only truth in any of this was the garden being built. Skylar wrinkled his nose, keenly aware that should anyone look in his direction, they would see naught but a snarling cat. Snarling cat. In response to the impassioned monarch. Beside him, he felt his befriended elf's hands close into fists. It was comforting to meet a like soul. He spent his entire life at the palace, pretending to accept their vision, their story. The queen had earned his respect, and her plan for change was one he wanted to support. He wanted to, and would have if things had been different. Putting those thoughts aside, he scanned the crowd. Where was Olivia? Surely the king's precious daughter and moonseer would be close by him. He rarely passed up an opportunity to show her off, after all. There, just a few steps down. Ah, she looks nervous. He wanted to go to her and calm her nerves. It left him unsettled to see her tense face, a face he had known since her birth. Her mother almost gave birth in my laboratory, for goodness sake. He had sworn to Queen Vera he would protect and guide her. Vera was known to refer to him as Olivia's fairy godmother, a title he didn't quite understand, but one she assured was well suited to him. The king waffled on. Waffled? That's a verb? Alright, the king waffled on, giving a full and complete history lesson as taught by the monarchy. When it came to the accomplishments and policies of Queen Olivia, the longest living of all the monarchs, Aemon, right. Aemon might as well have waved his hands about and declared that she did nothing at all. He glossed over the details as if they were unimportant. Of course, Queen Olivia died at the ripe age of 200, wow, having seen 2 Moonfair festivals. A festival she developed to bring the kingdom together between classes and peoples, and the first ruler to welcome Fey kind, the very same queen his mother had served. Oh, right. On the seventh night of the festival, my precious daughter, our beloved and beautiful Princess Olivia, will use her skills to revitalize the moonflower in ritual. Ah, here we go. A strange look passed over the king's face. He seemed unusually excited about something. This will be our greatest of all festivals, with our greatest ever moonseer. My princess will achieve what no other moonseer before her ever could. The moonflower. Eh? Oh no. The hair on Skylar's body prickled and rose as the room plunged into darkness. Olivia! Terrified shuffling and whimpers met his ears from all directions. The previously transfixed crowd succumbed to panic one by one, which only led to more agitation as they began to bump into each other, scrambling to get away. None of them mattered to Skylar in the slightest, though. He dashed between the attendees, his cat eyes taking mere seconds to attune to the darkness. A single objective laid before him. Protect Olivia. A flicker of pale green gently licked his cheek as he reached the foot of the staircase. Do not interfere. A whisper in the... Do not interfere. Have to whisper it. A whisper in the darkness, a voice which held no hostility, but a powerful one nonetheless. A fae. Be gone. Olivia. The voice withdrew, seemingly satisfied their objectives were not the same. The felinus leapt over a final guest, his arms finding solid purchase around the princess. As he yanked her backyards. All right, come on. Who edited this? Did nobody edit this writing? Dude, dude, come on. Backwards, off the stairs, the young woman squealed in fear. Be calm, it is... Nika? What's going on? The terrified princess clung to him, nails digging into his flesh. I don't know, but you must calm yourself. Father! Where's father? A slow building cackle sounded from where the king had stood moments before, and a green flame erupted across the room. Uh-oh. Whoa, this is a cool-looking flame. The faces of the nobles illuminated a sickly green. Their screams echoed through the room as the flames spread, flickering and dancing around the room, alive in a way fire should not be. Veil fire. A horrified Skylar stared at the figure before them, his grip tight on the struggling princess. The king was... He was... Oh, I like this guy. I like the looks of this guy. Look at him, he looks crazy. We love a crazy bitch. Look at this. Alright, that's cool. He has like roses. Can I like put this down? I wonder if there's a way to like hide this to see the rest of the thing. Heading? Oh no. Huh. I don't know. I wish I could see the rest of his thing a little bit. Now, what were you saying, Your Majesty? Surely you were not about to make a grand declaration about the moonflower in front of your adoring sycophants, were you? You were? My deepest apologies for interrupting you then. The man mimicked the stance the king had previously held, arms wide open, reaching out to nothing, a manic smile plastered over his youthful face. Father! Nika, where is father? The princess shook in his grasp, her anxiety visibly overwhelming her. Olivia. Another singular scream ripped through the ballroom, reverberating through the very bones of the crowd. Olivia. Her eyes were fixated on a figure in front of her, gray and textured, a rough stone replica of the king, set perfectly in place. His face, his clothes, his pose, and an expression of pure terror were carved into the piece. The green-haired stranger snapped his attention to the princess. Princess! He whistled the title, elongating the sound as if it was a new word never before said. Prettiest Princess Olivia. I would not touch that if I were you. You might... He pushed the stone sculpture beside him, watching it vaporize into a haze of dust and ash as it collided with the ground. Oh no. Break it! Whoops! Oh no! To be honest, I didn't really like the king anyway. The King of Ashes, Monarch of Ashmire. Literal ashes. How's that for a fitting end? You bastard! Uh-oh. Her voice was hoarse and tense as she fought tears she didn't yet grasp the need for. The man gasped, playfully covering his mouth. Princess! Language! How unbecoming! What will your beloved High Alchemist think of you with words such as those muttered from your innocent lips? Her body strained against Skylar, desperately attempting to reach the man, taunting her. Olivia, listen to me. You must calm yourself. Let me go! And if I did, what then? What could you possibly do in this situation? Please, Olivia, think. I don't know. Her voice quivered, weak and unlike her. Whispers and murmurs started spreading through the silenced crowd, the gravity of the situation settling. A collective realization overtook the crowd, who desperately dashed for the exits. The king was dead. A strange mage stood before them, mocking their princess. What would stop him from coming for them next? The aggressor stomped his foot on the stair. Green flames flickered under his boot. A puff of dust rose in a small cloud, glittering in the light of the flame. Ew, dusty in here. What are your servants doing? Skylar frowned at the man. Oh, too soon? Once more, the fiery attacker sent flames across the room, several gas lanterns exploding in the rear of the room. The panicked nobles collected in a huddle. Some broke out in whimpers, tears streaming down their faces, while others took stances for weapons they did not carry. Do not give me such a look, Veronica. Do you expect me to believe you liked that buffoon? Veronica? Oh, is that like the full name of Nika? Oh, it must be, yeah. Veronica Skylar, I think. After the lies he just told these kind people? A dangerous glint in the man's eyes. He was ready for more destruction. In fact, I have just saved your precious princess's life. You may hold your applause. I understand it's a confusing time for everyone. I knew something felt wrong tonight. Who is this cretin? The boy assumed a peculiar stance, one Skylar himself had been in what had to have been hours ago. He was dancing. Oh, gosh. Skylar took a deep breath, and without taking his eyes off the intruder, he called for another, someone he felt he could trust. Sir Siddle, your princess needs you. Come. The intruder pulled a surprised face. He knew a Sir Siddle. That much became obvious. A frantic scramble sounded through the crowd, and moments later, a frightened but determined young brunette appeared beside him. There he is! The man tilted his head in a slight confusion, puzzling out the young man before him. I guess he was unaware of a second son, just as I was. He's allowing this, though. What is his purpose? He murdered the king, but what now? He seems almost bored. Olivia, I want you to stay with Wesley here. I need you to trust me. Can you do that? The girl's lip quivered as she nodded. Skylar gripped the knight's shoulder, leaving him with a new charge. Okay, I have to be smart about this for her and everyone else. This is dangerous and it could potentially get worse. I have to find a way to get us out of here in one piece. A room full of nobility, ministers, lawmakers, and townspeople all looked to him to save them as he stood before the fire wielder. Ah, silence. Finally. At least you citizens are fundamentally cognizant. You'll be able to understand what I'm about to tell you all. Skylar stared hard at the man before him. He wanted to demand his name, demand his reasons, but he knew that would be pointless. You have our undivided attention. Please, tell us. Ah, Veronica, you are always so polite. I can feel those cogs in your head whirling. I do not know how you know that name, but I respectfully request you cease. The intruder cackled. Who calls me that? I can think of only one, but... A look of sheer delight crossed the green-haired man's face as he brought a single digit to his lips to shush the alchemist. Whirring and whirling, my darling. Don't spoil it, though. That would be no fun at all. Enough. Put everyone out of their misery and tell us what you linger here to announce. You did have an announcement, I assume. Yes. These things take time, you see. Time to boil and bubble and reach their full potential. Where's the fun in rushing things? Skylar's deadpan face made the strange man roll his eyes in response. Very well, Veronica doesn't want to play, and the princess is in no condition to either. Skylar's body tensed at the mention of the princess. He was young, and the natural magics of his kind were still weak within him. If he had to fight, he was not sure he could actually win, not against Veilfire. The moonflower! The bumbling idiots you have the gall to call kings have all but killed it. So, I'm going to take it from you. The crowd stole glances to one another, fear and confusion etched onto their faces. Skylar kept his gaze trained on the figure. Take the moonflower? No, you can't! You can't take it! The royal gasped her words, struggling to compose herself. No one is asking for your permission. Besides, you should be thanking me, my dear Princess Olivia. Your duty is done. Where's my gratitude? The man mocked sadness, pretending to cry. The felinous ears twitched, a noise from beyond the door catching his attention. The mysterious assailant seemed to notice the slight movement himself. Do you hear that, Veronica? It seems I must leave you to these people. The big men and their shiny garbage cans have arrived. He mocks, but I would be willing to bet he couldn't defeat all of them right here and now. This does not end here, friend. I would be disappointed if it did. Once more, the ballroom was plunged into darkness, gas lanterns flaring and exploding one by one down the walls. A shrill, piercing sound that resonated through the room forced the crowd to their knees. Skylar thought his ears would begin to bleed if it didn't end almost immediately. Skylar hobbled in front of Olivia, and Wesley crouched beside her, hand hovering over the sword at his waist. He would be prepared to protect her at all costs had the danger still remained. Thanks to the blessing of his sight, he could see the danger had passed. Despite his sight, however, he had not seen how the green-haired menace had left. As the lanterns began to reignite around the room and the screams died down, the ballroom was filled with a sterile silence. A quiet Skylar was not used to hearing. A heavy sensation settled on his heart. A quiet only broken up by the occasional sniffle, the rustle of fabrics, and quiet sobs of confusion and fear, which grew louder and louder as the realization of what had happened sunk in. With the danger past, everyone knew it for sure. The king was dead. The princess wept for her father, tears streaming down her cheeks in disbelief. Skylar took a deep breath, realizing it slowly as he glanced back to the kneeling girl before him. A startled shriek escaped the crowd as a continuous thumping sound vibrated through the ballroom. Guards. They took their time. Wesley nodded in response. I had wondered where they were. Why am I the only guard here? Father, he... A loud voice, booming, called out to the group as the ballroom doors finally gave way. Wesley wrinkled his nose at the new addition who strode into the room. A face quite similar to that of Wesley, but older, more defined, with a voice Skylar most definitely recognized. Sir Thane Siddle, knight and captain of the guard. While Skylar had little reason to interact with the man, unlike his younger brother, he was familiar with him. The man locked eyes with Skylar, making his way to the felinus with an almost unsettling gusto, barking a few orders to his men as he went. His eyes grew wide as he took in the image of his younger brother, hand still hovering near his sword beside the High Alchemist and Royal Princess. And it's another shadow. Captain Thane. The king specifically demanded no guard presence in the hall to answer your question, not a decision I can say that I agreed with. Good hearing for a human. What? Good hearing for a... Oh. He said it out loud. Sometimes it's hard to decipher what Skylar says out loud and what he's thinking, because he thinks a lot. Later you will tell me exactly what transpired here. For now, Sir Wesley. Yes? The young man sprang to attention, his body rigid as a board. Escort Princess Olivia somewhere safe for now. We'll deal with the crowd and work on flushing our intruder out. He clenched his fist, a deep frown settling on his face. I don't know what he did to us, but it will not happen again. The guards were compromised then. Alchemy or a more direct magic? Two men shared a nod of understanding. Everyone, please remain calm. We are going to get to the bottom of this situation, I promise. Like you promised to keep the king and the royal family safe. Oh, aristocrat, sorry. Like you promised to keep the king and the royal family safe? Is Princess Olivia next? Random voices began to scream out, their confidence growing with each tense second that passed. Quiet down. We will do our utmost to... But he's right. How about the young princess? How will you ensure her safety? Her safety? What about... Oh. Her safety? What about our safety? The townspeople began to argue with each other. They raised their voices in panic, screaming and shouting. Some in fear for the princess, but mostly for themselves. Every single one of them is seeking an advantage in this situation. Captain Thane tried to quiet their voices, but there was no end to their bickering. Brother said to get the princess somewhere safe, but where could that be, if even the guards couldn't? Anger flared across the face of the barely present princess, her almost catatonic state allowing for few interactions. She does not like being babied. Wesley, do you know where my lab is? Yes, sir, I do. We shall return the... We go to find him. Skylar scanned the girl with a sympathetic gaze. Shock, devastation, and anger clashed and struggled to be the emotion to take hold of the defiant royal. Shaky on her feet, she stood before the knight and alchemist with a face that said she would not be defeated so easily. Are you going to let him escape? Just like that? Skylar crossed his arms, returning her angry scowl. The clatter of the crowd seemed distant to the trio. Skylar almost felt bad for the captain. Fielding the complaints and testimonies of so many tormented nobles sounded like the worst punishment to him. Skylar let out a sigh, placing a hand under the princess's chin, wiping her tears with his thumb. Let us return to my lab, Olivia. We have much to process, and staying here will do you no good. Wesley, please escort the princess. I will join you momentarily. The young knight bowed deeply before ushering a suspiciously obedient Olivia out of the agitated ballroom. Uh-oh. Suspiciously obedient. Skylar's eyes wandered across the crowd. Where did you go? Have you lost someone? I'm unsure, to be perfectly honest. I'm beginning to doubt he was even real. Captain? Do watch your step. He gestured to the ashen debris that was scattered across the step. I would hate for her to lose more than she already has. Bats? A horrified expression followed his realization, disgust mixed with rage and fear. Was it Faye? Skylar lightly bit his knuckle in thought. Excuse me. Oh, I intend to find out. Good, then you have my support. The knights and the palace guard will follow your lead. Skylar raised an eyebrow. Unexpected, I must say. The captain gave a coy smile. Both men knew how his father felt, and both knew they would be keeping the situation from him as long as possible. Oh, from his father, the knight father, okay. And High Alchemist, protect her with your life. I always do, Captain. I'll be counting on you. And Wesley. The other man averted his gaze, suddenly embarrassed by his personal concern. He is a valiant young man, scared, and yet he put his all into shielding her. You can be proud of him this night, if you weren't already, that is. That is comforting to hear. He is much softer than I. A good thing, I suspect. Captain Thane bowed to the flyness and returned to the crowd, beginning the long process of gathering information and collecting what remained of the king. A doting brother, how unexpected. That old goat Siddle must be livid. How dare my sons care about each other? How dare they have brotherly love? Skylar hurried to return to his laboratory where the princess and her new guardian were awaiting. The heavy laboratory door swung open as the alchemist entered his domain. We're back home, guys. This is the alchemist's lab. Leaning against one of his cluttered alchemy tables, Skylar let out a sigh and pulled his hat slightly over his eyes, the darkness comforting. The captain has taken charge of debriefing the nobility and... Felinus pinched the bridge of his nose, his head throbbing. And the remains of the king? The alchemist readjusted his hat to its proper place. Locking eyes with Olivia, tear tracks etched themselves into her skin, her pink-hued eyes catching the redness in her face. Yes, the remains of the king. A solemn silence passed over the trio. Olivia. The girl released the breast she had been holding, almost throwing herself onto the floor as her legs finally gave out under her. Skylar offered a bemused smile, and Wesley tried to look at anything but the princess. Are you okay down there? The girl puffed angrily. What do you think? I am a mess. Anger pulses through me. I cannot bear to sit here any longer. The grieving royal grabbed her face, releasing a haunting scream as she did so, one full of anger, sadness, and helplessness. She leapt to her feet abruptly. I like how he was surprised. Like, moved a little bit. She leapt to her feet abruptly, startling the concerned young knight once again. So badly wants to help, yet has no idea how. We need to think Do not dare tell me to be calm once more. Oh, calm? Careful? Calm? I don't know what he was about to say. I've been plenty calm, Nika. My father was murdered in front of me. How can I be calm after that? How? Carefully. Okay, he was about to say carefully. Princess. Don't princess me, Nika. 1,000 emotions passed across her face as she chewed on the name she just said. You still are the princess, whether you like it or not in this moment. A small noise sounded through the tension as Sir Wesley stood by the pair with his hand raised in the air. You have something to add, Wesley? He called you Veronica? Skylar wrinkled his nose. He did, yes. The young man tilted his head in confusion. Ugh, never mind that. We cannot just stand here chatting. My father, the king, was slaughtered in front of us and the culprit simply waltzed away. She slammed her palms downwards onto a nearby desk, bottles and satchels scattering across the floor as she did so. Destroying my laboratory will get you no further towards your answers. You don't want to hear it, but you must be calm. I need you to think. Did that man look familiar to you at all? I don't know. She winced as if thinking was the last thing she wanted to do. Think. He reminded me of Advisor Ezekiel Uther. Oh, Olivia and Skylar. I cannot be two people at once. My apologies. Just imagine them both saying it at the same time. Advisor Ezekiel Uther. Who the heck is that? The princess gasped at their unison answer, Wesley's eyes going wide. Now that's a word I haven't seen in a while. Unison. Haven't seen that word. I don't know why, but I haven't seen it in a long time. Interesting word, that is. That's... Olivia stumbled backwards. No. It can't. You're wrong. You must be. Why would he do this? Why could he... Or how could he do this, Nika? His face. She clasped a hand over her mouth, stifling the urge to vomit. The Lord Advisor, is he not... A deafening crash startled the two men, drawing their attention from their conversation to the laboratory entry. Olivia! Princess? The young man's eyes went wide with fear. Oblivion take her, this damn child is going to get herself killed. Wait here. Abandoning his usual decorum, the alchemist chased after the princess. Oh, okay, she ran away. Where would she have gone to find him? Where could he even be, for that matter? The moonflower is illogical. The entire castle would be alerted if those wards broke. Skylar stood still in the silent hall, his ears focusing on the sounds of the palace. Dull sounds of far-off footsteps, skittering of small creatures, the panicked nobles. And amongst all of that, the frantic panting of a woman not used to running. There you are. The sleeping quarters? Why go there? Skylar entered the hallway leading to the advisor's chambers, his steps quickening. So this is where Lord Uther resides? Linus crossed his arms, leaning against the wall as the princess he sought struggled with a locked door. It won't open. Again and again she tried, tugging, pushing, kicking. Nothing worked. A princess attempting to kick down a reinforced oak door. That's new. Quiet! Either help me or shut up! The alchemist raised an eyebrow at her outburst. Skylar could feel his patience wearing thinner as he watched the young woman's futile attempts at entry. This is pointless. Oh! Alright, we have another option. Sedate her or convince her. What do we think? To like the one person actually watching. My dad. What do you think, Dad? I'm gonna take a drink of water. Convince? Okay. Sorry, I need a break. Dude, reading is hard. My eyes hurt, my throat hurts. Can they make it another hour and a half? I don't know, Nyan. It's hard work. Okay. Olivia, listen to me. You must stop this. You will get nowhere with this. What is your plan if you manage to get in, Barge in with no defense, and then what? The princess clenched her fists, pivoting her body to confront the alchemist, berating her. I can't just sit and wait. You cannot ask me to do that. You have no choice. The girl made to retort, but was silenced by Skylar. If you had let me finish my theory before running away without even the hint of a plan, you may have some idea of what we're up against. Let us return to my laboratory. Now. The alchemist turned on his heel, marching back to his laboratory, the princess begrudgingly beside him. The frustrated alchemist and his lethargic princess made their way back to the laboratory in silence. While their journey was uneventful, Skylar was unable to shake an ominous feeling. Someone was watching them. No matter how he subtly tried, even his senses couldn't identify who or where the feeling was coming from. This night keeps getting more and more irritating, doesn't it? You're back! Skylar nodded to the young man, briefly resting a hand on his shoulder as he walked past him, wandering further into the expansive room. This calls for something a little stronger than tea. Why did you speak to me like that? Like what? Back there, you've never spoken to me like that before. I don't like it, Nika. It worked, did it not? Have I not suffered enough this night? And you will suffer more still if you do not start listening to me. Olivia frowned, poised to argue with her Felinus mentor. Now, Uther. The princess bit her lip, fighting the urge to continue bickering. The alchemist had gained her attention, and she settled down for the moment. Could it really be him? Is he not, well, an old man? The young man scratched at his head, and Olivia nodded to him. He is, or perhaps was? I take it you're about to explain? Not exactly. I do not know why he appears as he does, but... Skylar held out a hand to silence her. Oh. How much do you know about the circumstances of Lord Uther losing his post as High Alchemist? Do you know how long ago it actually was? Olivia's brows wrinkled as she thought. He's been an advisor as long as I can remember. Yes, and not to answer my own query, but it's been 24 years. So if you knew, then why did you answer? Or why did you ask? Why did you ask in the first place? In that time, an extensive investigation was conducted against him. Lord Ezekiel Uther was accused of researching a forbidden discipline, necromancy. Oh, the human before him gasped in horror. They're both human. Maybe both of them gasped and they just forgot to put an S here. Necromancy? But why? Knowledge. Power and wealth often go hand in hand with the relentless pursuit of knowledge, despite the cost. You say that like it's nothing. Necromancy is evil. How can you speak of it like it's... I can only assume that he found something. Felinus' body tensed, the fur on his tail standing on end, eyes darting around the familiar environment. Seems I was correct. We are being observed. Nika, what's wrong? Wesley shifted his posture to be ready to draw his weapon and shook his head at the princess, gently hovering his index finger before his lips to gesture silence. His eyes never left the wired Felinus as he positioned himself in front of Olivia. Fear gripped the princess as she shrank back behind the men. Skylar glanced at Olivia, then back towards the noise. She's hiding behind the night. Good. The pupils of the Felinus restricted to mere slits as he stalked the sound around his laboratory. Unlike their canine relatives, the Kinnear. Oh, there's dog boys too. Oh, Corgi, redeemed drink. Time to take another drink, nyan. Oh, thanks, I needed that. Yes, dog boys, yeah. So unlike their canine relatives, the Kinnear, Felinus, did not appear with full feline characteristics at all times. Eyes, teeth, claws, they had them, but it took a mental effort to reveal them. It was most common to hide these features around humans, and to utilize them was a sign of deep aggression. Skylar loosened the potions at his side, notching them between his fingers like blades. Simple concoctions he carried with him in case he needed to make an escape in the unfortunate event he encountered a disagreeable noble. Oh, one bewildered, another induced sleepiness, and a third could render him invisible. So remember this, okay? The blue is bewilder. Bewilled. The next one is sleep. Pink is sleep, and green is invisible. All right, you got that? This might come in handy later. We might have to remember this. Blue, bewilled. Be bewilled, blue. Pink is sleep because I love sleep. And green is invisible because I'm jealous. I'm green with envy that I can't be invisible to. Okay. Oh, I need to choose one. Oh, shit. Oh, it's now. I thought it was later, but it's now. All right, how do we want to take down the enemy? Or if it even is an enemy. Or do we want to turn invisible? We can bewilder the enemy. We can make the enemy go to sleep. Or we can turn ourselves invisible to otherwise subdue the enemy or take the enemy by surprise. What do we think, chat? Dun 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 dun. Dad says sleep. Oh, Sylvie is here too. Hello, Sylvie. Yeah. Invisible. Uh-oh. That's 1 for 1. Sleep or invisible. Anybody else? Also, hello, Sylvie. Welcome to stream. I'm playing Moonflower. It's a visual novel, so it's basically a novel, and I'm reading so much my throat hurts. Never thought I would have to read so much in my life. 1 for sleep, 1 for invisible. That's kind of a tie. I was thinking either bewildered or sleep. So I guess sleep wins, since I was kind of thinking between the two. I think we gotta choose sleep. In order for me to break the tie, I guess I'll choose sleep. I clicked it, but nothing happened. Oh. Skylar's nimble fingers grasped at the sleep draft? Safest method of rendering an enemy immobile was to rob them of their consciousness, after all. The Felinus crept towards the source of the noise, poised to toss the bottle. A flicker of movement out of the corner of his eye was all it took for the alchemist to throw the bottle. Eh? Who was it? A young knight swayed on his feet, struggling to keep his heavy eyes open. Wait, what? You absolute fool, what are you doing? The boy groggily looked up at him before collapsing in his arms. What? Wesley? Well, he'll be useless for a few minutes at the very least. The alchemist gently laid the boy on the floor, tucked away beside a bench. Perhaps I made the draft too strong. Nika! The scream of the princess pierced through the Felinus' thoughts. A coy smile spread across the lips of the intruder as he slipped in behind Skylar, the alchemist's entire body snapping rigid as the raven-haired elf gently rested a finger beneath the other's chin. The elf is the intruder. Oh, you. The elf that looks like Sir Amaric. The two men stayed rooted in place, staring intently at each other. His playful grin spread as the elf raised the chin of the angry alchemist before him, even more cat-like in his irritation. A valiant attempt at stealth, truly. If only your companions were not so noisy, you definitely would have had me. Skylar's brow twitched. Is he trying to tease me? He had been captured in his own laboratory. It's spelled like laboratory. I know in English we say laboratory. So sorry if I mispronounce it now and again. By a stranger, and now he was teasing him. What are you doing here? Me? Skylar's eyes narrowed. My, that is a mood. Am I not welcome? His playful countenance filled with an innocent curiosity. To listen to him speak, none of the past hour had happened at all. Enough. The king is gone, the advisor is touched, and a mysterious elven man... The advisor is touched? The king is gone. The advisor is touched. Who's the advisor? The king's advisor was touched by the scary dude? Uther. Uther is the advisor? Oh. And a mysterious elven man who is a stranger to all present suddenly appears, flirts with the High Alchemist. then disappears right as the ruler of the kingdom is assassinated, only to reappear after like nothing had happened. The elven man's cheerful grin drooped. You are going to... sorry. You are going to tell me who you are, or you can spend the rest of your time here in a dungeon with a warden known for his particular cruelty towards Feyborn. The man's face warped into horror at the threat posed to him. Skylar's slit pupils visually dissected him, sending a shiver down his spine in response. A weak smile struggled to settle on his handsome face, a guilty, apologetic, and concerned expression. You aren't one for physical threats. Oh. You aren't one for physical threats, Alchemist Skylar. Does the night truly weigh that heavy on you? Unless in your idle musings you are about to introduce yourself, I suggest you cease your chatter. Wesley, fetch the captain of the guard. Wes... That's right, he's asleep. I forgot to. Oh dear. Oh goodness. The pair glanced at the young man slouched on the floor. Useless. He meant well. It will be unnecessary, right, my good sir? The princess pulled back her shivering shoulders, locking eyes with the unknown male. Your affection for our high alchemist is admirable, however surely you can see how your game of mystery is distressing. She gently rested her hand on the forearm of the elf, her earnest eyes trapping him in her gaze. Please, sir, tell us who you are. Do this favor for a grieving princess. No, a grieving daughter. Skylar folded his arms in front of his chest, a deep scowl settling on his face as his features returned to their usual state. Do not look at me so. Very well. Shaking off the princess's hand, the elven stranger extended his long limbs before sweeping down into a long, deep bow. It is a pleasure to meet you, High Alchemist Veronica Skylar. I have heard much of your genius. My name is Ender Koo. Ender, that's a cool name. An investigative detective hailing from Steamspire. What? What? What's a detective doing? Was he just there for fun, but now he has to figure out the mystery? Oh gosh. I feel like this game is digging a hole, and it just keeps getting deeper and deeper. I'll start saving 1, 2, 3 so that we can... I mean... Yeah, it's probably better to... I don't know. Okay. I just felt like now was a good time to save in case the game crashes or something. I don't know. My name is Ender Koo, an investigator detective hailing from Steamspire. Detective? Confusion replaced the aggression on Skylar's face. His head tilted and his porcelain limb found its way to his chin, a single finger hooked in front of his lips. His thinking pose, Olivia had always called it. A detective? Why would a detective be here, and why does it feel so rehearsed? A convenient answer to hide behind. Very well, detective. Why are you here? To experience the moon fair, of course. I had hoped to see the moonflower just like everyone else. To see it or steal it? Ika! A complicated mix of surprise and sadness passed over the elf's features. See, but I do admit I had my own suspicions of its safety. Your own concern tonight speaks volumes. You also felt something was wrong, did you not? Ika, is this true? What does he mean? The alchemist glanced at the princess before nodding solemnly. It is. I do not wish to worry you. Your role as Moonseer and princess alike are stressful enough. However... There is something in the air. It is difficult to explain. A disturbance of some kind which has altered the usual composition of the natural energy. The trio turned towards the meek voice, completely forgetting about his presence in the room. It seems our knight has recovered. Brother... Sir Thane, he mentioned in preparation for the ball that he found something odd. Odd? Tell us. Her urgency made the young man flinch. He gingerly glanced at the alchemist. Well, there were many things, too many things, submitted by the alchemists. Skylar's posture changed in startled recognition. Yes, right. Nika? Additional drafts of protection, a warding talisman, a few other supplemental artifacts to ensure the ceremony was not interrupted once it began. Designed to protect Moonseer and Moonflower both. You Captain Thane seemed pleased by the additions, but Father didn't plan on using any of the alchemical submissions, though. He said they wouldn't need them. Stupid, stupid man. The king seemed to have thoughts on the proceedings as well, before his announcement was cut short, that is. Related, perhaps? Ender nodded in agreement. I believe so. Olivia paced back and forth, her mind racing as the voices of the other three men became distant whispers. She tried to keep calm, desperately trying to contain herself as she replayed everything over again in her head. Enough! I don't care about any of this, not even in the slightest. Before he showed up, you were going to talk about that bastard Uther. No more distractions. Are we not already? This relates directly. I think it's related, Your Highness. I agree. The princess's face screwed up into an angry grimace as she turned towards Skylar, eyes flashing with a violent passion. Olivia, your impatience is precisely why I have always refused to teach you my craft. Think. Do not treat me like a child, Nika. Not now. Then don't act like one. My father was assassinated. Oh, assassinated. Yes, and if your beloved alchemist had have expressed his concerns, would you have listened? What? How dare you? I do not mean to distress you, Your Highness, but please understand that the current conversation is relevant to everything that has happened tonight. Even the captain of the guard has expressed gratitude for additional protections. The atmosphere of this night has been so unsettling that even a timid young knight with no connection sought out the High Alchemist to ensure he was present as one the princess trusted. Wait, what? Wesley? Wesley went beet red as the elven investigator spoke, shaking his hands in front of him in a desperate effort to make him stop. Dude, I am Wesley. Wesley is me. I feel a kinship with Wesley. Oh, my apologies. Was that not meant to be known? I was told the princess sent him. Oh. Now, isn't that a twist? I suppose that explains her confusion at sending Siddle's son on an errand. Please forgive me! The young knight threw himself on the floor before the alchemist, babbling all kinds of apologies. There's no need. It's fine. I'm almost impressed by such a deception, to be honest. All right, detective. Let us review what we know then, shall we? Oh god, all right. What are we reviewing? The mystery is on! Did you guys know that this was a mystery game? I forgot until I put it into the little stream information box. It's a mystery, so we're trying to find out what happened and who's who's responsible. Are we going to review the ball or are we going to review the night? Wait, what night? Which night? Oh, review like Wesley? I don't know. What are we reviewing? What seems more suspicious? Wesley, the night? Okay, we have one for Wesley. Anybody else? Anybody else? Share your opinion. I'm interested. The knight, Sir Aymeric? He's not a knight. Sir Aymeric is a detective in this world. He's Detective Ender something something. And he came from Steam Spire, the steampunk land. Go to the ball. Oh god. Well, it's not going to the ball, it's just reviewing what happened. So Sylvie wants to review the ball. My dad wants to review the night. We're split again. I can't keep being tiebreaker because I don't know which one. Oh, that's what I mean. LOL, sorry. Oh, wait. Oh, go to the night? I'm confused. Yeah, night. Okay, okay. Let me get this straight. You knew of Sir Wesley's ruse before I had even met you? Oh, yeah, that's... Now that I think... The number one genre that I am not good at is mystery, because I'm really dumb when it comes to putting two and two together. I don't know what it is. I've never been able to, like, you know, figure out mysteries. I don't like the mystery genre because I'm too dumb for it. You knew of Sir Wesley's ruse before I had even met you. It is indeed curious that you would have come across him at all prior to the ball, don't you think? Ah, well, I said that I'm a detective, did I not? I may have conducted a sweep of the castle prior to arriving at the ball. Purely for research, of course. You were snooping around my house? Oh, you were snooping around my home? An awkward cough escaped the elf as his eyes darted away from the young princess. Okay, so now we review the ball. As you must be aware, the ball was invite only. How exactly did someone that no one's ever heard of manage to procure an invite? A coy smile graced the face of the detective in response to Skylar's piercing gaze. They like that word coy. They're using the coy word a lot. That is one secret I cannot tell, but I can assure you I was invited. Really, is that so? Your familiarity with proceedings also suggests this wasn't your first moon fair, and yet you assure me it is. It is familiar to me, yes, but is there any of our kind who do not know of it? Humph, that's a fair rebuttal, I suppose. It is true the festival is known to almost all land-based Faeborn. It was our beliefs they took for themselves, after all. Ooh, okay, now we learn about the moonflower. Tell me, how fares the moonflower, truly? None of your biz... It is dying. Oh, shit. Nika, why would you... The two men locked eyes, both occupying an aura of deathly silence and seriousness. But you knew this already, so why do you feel the need to ask? You knew? Nika, don't treat me as if I'm not here, please. I am Moonseer, and I know I will never be what Veronica was. Oh, Veronica was, his mom. Okay. Never be what Veronica was before me, but why do you speak like the Moonflower's state is unknown to me? You claim something different to what the palace knows. How could it be dying? The Moonflower you know of is an alchemic recreation. Zeke. Zeke? Oh, sorry, Zeke? I thought it was Olivia. Sorry. Suddenly the elf has a very high-pitched voice. Zeke. Ah, Lord Zekiel Uther, former high alchemist and current advisor to the crown. Current nothing. That murdering bastard deserves no such title. To what end does it serve, however? I wonder. Who is the advisor? Father would talk about Ezekiel sometimes, but he always seemed angry about his existence. He really seemed to hate him. Lord Zekiel Uther, the high alchemist to Ashmire Palace, until one day, 25 years ago, news broke that he had been removed from his post and placed under observation. This is getting harder and harder to read. And there's still an hour left. Oh god. Ooh, okay. Around the time Mother discovered she was with child. You took the post shortly after, did you not? I've always wondered how that came to be. Yes, an attempt was made on Queen Vera's life shortly before Lord Uther lost his post as alchemist. She did not believe it was Uther's doing, but nonetheless she came to me and would not leave until I agreed. Really? That does sound like Mother. Needless to say, the replacement of Uther with a Skylar... Oh, Skylar's his last name, I keep forgetting. Needless to say, the replacement of Uther with a Skylar did not sit well with the monarchists. But that is not relevant. He shook his head, chasing away the bitter thoughts of his own history. Sadness etched itself into Ender's expression as he did so. I'd wager he knows something about that, too. But why? What was he accused of? Rumors of that reached far. He sounds like an old man now. The High Alchemist of Ashmire was accused of researching forbidden arcana. Necromancy. The two young humans gasped. We knew that already, you guys. We talked about that. Come on. Why are you surprised? We literally talked about that like 5 minutes ago. What? What I found most curious was the abilities he displayed, however, the attitude he had about the whole event. He was amused, a cat playing with a mouse. Cruel and vicious. He has always been strange, but I had no idea that's why he lost his post. I always thought you were simply more qualified. I am, but that is not how I came to be here. In all honesty, I've always gotten on well with Ezekiel. His role as advisor put us in frequent contact. He was polite, inquisitive, and quite personable. Unlike most others in this palace, if he resented my existence here, he never alluded to it. You were friends. Not exactly. He was merely far more tolerable than anyone else in the court I was forced to attend. The only one who gave my expertise any credit. A man of knowledge and truth despite the circumstances. Necromancy? That's death magic? The young man struggled to piece the puzzle pieces together. If thoughts could take form, the young knight would be surrounded by queries. Exactly. That's me. I have a bunch of question marks. Something like that, yes. What he did to the king? He swallowed hard, the thought too raw to even say aloud. That was necromancy? No answer was forthcoming. An excellent question. Necromancy is not exactly my expertise. I would be willing to hypothesize with significant confidence that the technique utilized was learned through a study of necromancy, but specifically it appeared more earth-based in nature. I agree, I've not personally seen such a technique, but it appears more akin to breaking down the form of something rather than life-sapping. You were there to see it? Before Skylar could press the man any further, Olivia's voice interrupted. And that green flame? Is that a part of it too? Veilfire. Usually I would say no. Veilfire is something completely different, but? I suspect someone taught him, and that it is intimately related to his knowledge of necromancy too. So wait, if he recognized the green-haired man, why didn't he call him by his name then at the time? Why was he like stepping around? Has his appearance changed, do you think? Otherwise he would have like noticed him or realized who it was like immediately. This is confusing. And if he was able to learn it, then that would mean it would appear so. Would he be not actually human? Someone taught him? I don't understand. Who do you mean? It's a darker side of history. Not many know the truth of the land they stand on. The elf's voice trailed off, a quiet stillness overcoming him. A history he is closely familiar with. I wonder just how old he is. Impossible to tell in appearance alone, and if he is as old as I suspect, he guards his aura well. To understand, you would need to be taught forbidden knowledge. I feel we have had enough drama tonight. And you know this knowledge? Skylar smiled at the young man. That is a very leading question, young Wesley. I didn't mean... He fell silent, cheeks blushing pink as he thought about the implications of what he had asked. Skylar sighed and rubbed his temples. We can talk about the logistics of Arcana and theorize all night, but that won't get us any closer to answers. Then we go after him, what I've been saying from the start. Princess, the only place you are going is to your quarters under heavy guard. What? No, absolutely not, Olivia. Anger flashed across the Felinus's face, frightening the princess into silence. Her pursed lips betrayed her desire to argue back. Olivia, you are all that's left of the royal line right now. If you truly think I would allow you to run off after the man who just turned your father to dust with ease, you are frankly mistaken. I made a vow to your mother that I would protect you until her return. My loyalty to her was earned through years of pestering and action. As much as I care for you, you are but a child here. You must remember you must remember your station. Tears welled in the royal's eyes. Have I been too cruel? Princess, if you will return to safety, I swear to you I will act in your interest. I will not stop until your mission has been fulfilled. I will be your voice where you cannot speak. The Fae glanced at each other. That was almost romantic. Princess, I cannot act if I am preoccupied with worrying about you. Wesley, please escort the princess to her quarters. Inform Captain Thane of her return. He will assign trustworthy men to her. Yes, sir. Look at that. When he's focused, he's actually quite dependable. Let's hope this continues. I do not approve of this. You cannot simply push me aside. Princess Olivia, darling little moonseer, your life is precious, but so is the High Alchemist's. Were you to come under threat, he would die, and if he is forced to sacrifice his life for you, then he cannot fulfill your wish of him. The elf gently pet the woman's hair, and tears fell from her eyes. Please, princess, consider him. If you insist on accompanying him, it is he who will be hurt, not you. Do you wish for another to perish for you this eve? His harsh message was soft and rhythmic. He could have been humming her a lullaby. His words were spoken so gently. A comforting energy wrapped around him, calming Olivia. I see. He has an innate restorative ability. He's restoring her rationality by healing the pain her mind is in. Incredible. A few minutes passed of Ender gently coaxing the frail princess into agreeing to return to safety. Finally, she relented, although Skylar was not altogether convinced. Fine, you have made your point. Escort your obstacle to her quarters. Olivia. She turned on her heel and marched out the heavy metal doors, Wesley scrambling to catch up to her. She won't stay away, you realize this, don't you? I do not think she can handle the truths of this night. Let her simmer in her thoughts away from the one she tries so hard to impress. I fear everyone is so worried about her feelings that no one stops to consider yours. Aww. Skylar's eyes went wide. Mine? Am I wrong in thinking that you would die before allowing harm to come to her? Skylar's nose wrinkled, enough of an answer that no words were needed. If she puts herself in the enemy's path, all she will accomplish is your death. I cannot allow that. Not you two. He closed his eyes, resting a hand against his heart. My words may have been cruel, but they are practical. She has no direct skills, no magic. She is scared and angry, and all of those things are not a danger to her, but to those around her. I would not say she is without skill, detective. Olivia is possibly one of the most skilled fencers the kingdom has. She nearly triggered a war defeating a prince who traveled here to woo her once. The alchemist chuckled to himself. You are correct. However, I believe there is more to Zeke than we know. He is not using necromancy. Those were fey magics. Those of the blood fey, to be precise. He has broken into something dangerous indeed. Contact with a fey would not be enough to wield magic like that, though. Has he made a contract with one, or has he been taught? You think he could be part fey? Perhaps. I suppose it's possible. Ender paced back and forth, his head tilted slightly to the side as he thought. He really did look like a detective solving a case at that moment. Not before, but only now. Just now he looks like a detective. Do you know of any who can affect a human's lifespan in such a dramatic fashion? The alchemist gazed through the large window in the upper level of his laboratory. To reverse time? None. The moonflower has been known to extend life. The entire royal family have all lived 50 to 100 years past the average human, all while maintaining a youthful appearance. But to turn back the clock, his aging had to be fake to begin with. The moonflower couldn't have reversed time. Ender paused in his pacing, looking Skylar in the eyes. I will say I do not think the princess was wrong to head to his quarters. She would not have found him. A villain does not simply walk back to his quarters after committing such an act. No, he is not there. We will likely find our answers there, however. Right. His research. Correct. The door is locked, as our dear Olivia had the misfortune of discovering, and I do not think that any conventional methods will unlock it. So that's where you disappeared off to? Chaos descended upon the ballroom and you went to the advisor's quarters? The elf shied away from the question. Oh, dang. Not exactly. Skylar narrowed his eyes. You went to the moonflower? How do you even know where the moonflower is, pray tell? Moreover, you said the moonflower Olivia knows is a fake, an alchemist's creation. You seem to know a lot about it, don't you? I did. How to explain. Truthfully, that's why I'm here. Rumors of trouble. The air tastes strange, though I admit that sounds a little peculiar once spoken aloud. The man sighed, worried evident on his face. It has never felt like this before. I have been compelled to attend, for if I do not myself, who will? There is much I cannot reveal yet, but I beg of you to trust me, even if you find that difficult. I cannot do this without you. You are the key to all of it. Then let me present my hypothesis. You know of the moonflower because that is where you went. You went to the altar? The elf nodded. I had suspected as much. It holds little power, a shadow of what the actual flower should be, but make no mistake, I had thought Olivia would have been privy to this. It seems Queen Vera's fears have been realized. What was she afraid of, do you know? A nerve twitched in the alchemist's cheek as he thought of the queen. He shook his head in dismay. All I know is that she feared for Olivia as she knew the truth of the previous moonseer. I do not believe it to be Zeke who has fallen to corruption, necromancy, or otherwise. However, he has certainly used it to his advantage. We need access to his quarters. Have you a way? An uncommon expression passed over the high alchemist's face, something a little devious, a little excited. A chance to use his skills in this way came so rarely the count was never. You speak to the most skilled alchemist on this continent. Of course I have a way. Come, while I do not have what I need on hand, I can make it. The detective's face lit up with wonder. The prospect of getting to partake in a creation with the high alchemist proved too enthralling to decline. Is it potion making time? Yeah! It's cooking mama. It's the cooking alchemist. Alright, let's see. First start, combine the base key and golden clay, then add the spherical garnet. What does that do? You'll see, won't you? Oh, I have to do it? Oh, shit! Shit! The base key. And garnet? No, clay? Oh shit, what did he say? Do you guys remember? I don't want to click on the help button yet. Quick, someone, rewind stream. I think it's just these three things. Right? The key, the base clay, and garnet. I mean, what's the worst that can happen if we get it wrong? I can't click anything else. Yeah, I can't click anything. Ah! Oh, shit! Oh. Alchemist's key. Key, garnet, gold, clay. There you go. Talisman. Enchanter's stone. Well, this is nice. Look at this. We know how to make stuff now. Huh. Okay, so I can click that. Yeah, these are the only things that I can click, so I'm pretty sure this is right. And I just looked at the ingredient, the recipe. I was like, what is it that fucking people who cook use? Ender's eyes shimmered at the creation before them. I'm going crazy. I'm going a little loopy. It's been too long. Power through, Peach, power through. May I? Skylar couldn't help but smile. It was rare that someone didn't get excited by the process of alchemy, but this tall, regal stranger was so enthralled, Skylar could have sworn that he was physically glimmering. Of course, feel free to combine two ingredients and mix them together. See what you get. It should be safe. Should. Indeed, should. Oh, damn, there's a lot. I can make anything I want. What's this? Oh, it's an ingredient. Oh my gosh, I can mix anything I want. This is awesome! Ooh, what should I mix? What should I mix? Should I get like all the gemstones in? Yeah. Let's see what happens if I just mix like all the gems. And this thing looks cool. The items fizzle away. Well, how about another try? Okay, fine, I'll actually make something. We can make an enchanter's stone, talisman. What do we think, chat? I'll let you choose. Note for future. Try mixing 2 times elixir with 1x other. Elixir? Oh, restorative elixir. What do you want to make? We already made the alchemist's key. Do you want to make a talisman? Do you want to make an enchanter's stone? Ever candle, restorative elixir, sleep draft, invisibility draft, blinding draft, or bewildering draft? We already saw most of those. We haven't seen a blinding draft before. Elixir? Restorative elixir? 1 clear quartz, 1 moon water, 1 powdered moonflower petal. So the crystal, the moon thingy, and the vial of stuff. Okay. Crystal. That's not the crystal. Crystal, there it is. Crystal, moon thingy, and the vial. Yeah, vial. Mix. Jaja, I got an achievement. Hi, alchemist. I'm the alchemist now. Ha 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 ha. It's me. Look at how pretty it is. Look, I made that. Skylar watched the detective carefully combining ingredients. I'm stretching. Sorry, I need to stretch. An expression of absolute focus on his face. Ugh. 3. How rebellious. Is it though? I'm just looking at the menu and the recipe. A frown crept across the alchemist's face as he watched the chosen ingredients. Distilled moonwater, quartz, and a powdered petal of the moonflower itself. He wanted to stop the man. The potential to waste such precious ingredients on a random experiment instilled a particular anxiety within the alchemist, and yet he did nothing. The focus on the face of the other man was so intense, his moves so exact, Skylar could only watch. He knows exactly what he's doing, exactly what he's using. The probability of him knowing exactly how to best utilize the moonflower is low, and yet he does so with ease. My suspicions of his story only grow. If the elven detective was aware of the scrutiny of the alchemist behind him, he did not show it. He worked diligently on his creation until, with a satisfied hum, he stepped back, the bottle before them striking. I beg you to forgive the use of such rare and precious ingredients. So he did know what he was using. This is something special, a restorative tonic of an incredible potency. With the inclusion of the moonflower itself, I should think so. Keep this with you. With luck, there will be no need to use it. Aww. Moonflower, moonwater, and quartz. This is a powerful healing concoction indeed. Enough to raise one from the brink of death, I would wager. Oh, that's good. We made like a really, really strong healing potion for the alchemist to use. It's nice that he's worried about the alchemist. This is an adaptation of a recipe someone very important to me once made. She used to sprinkle it in the water used on her beloved gardens. He smiled to himself, a sincere and heartbreaking smile, one Skylar felt all too familiar with. She was incredible. You remind me of her so much. Skylar opened his mouth in query, but the other man simply shook his head. It appeared he would speak no more on the subject. The two men stepped back from the station, admiring the creations before them. So you're experienced with alchemy? Me? I wouldn't say so. I have simply been around many an alchemist in my lifetime. You pick up a few things along the way. Plus, the notes you write are impeccable. Yeah, I looked at the notes. Skylar turned the key he had crafted over in his hands, absent-mindedly fiddling with the item. So, a key. It looks beautifully intricate, yet nondescript enough that someone not versed in alchemy wouldn't be able to tell its value. Deep breaths. We're gonna take 3 deep breaths to reset our nervous system and hopefully be able to read without stuttering. I'm gonna take a drink of water too. Okay. Are the mechanisms of it what make it so remarkable, or have you imbued it in some other way? Skylar paused his fussing, holding the key out towards the detective. I would say 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, if I were to be honest. Seeing Ender's confused expression, Skylar continued his explanation. Its function is similar to a skeleton key, a key stripped back to the very essentials that can unlock many a door. But there's a key difference. Oh my gosh. Someone come get this man. I don't want him anymore. There's a key to... God, now? You're joking? Now you're making a pun now? After all this time? Really? Really? I don't know if I like that. The elf beamed at his pun once again. He really did seem to be a fan of it. Wait, he made a pun another time? Maybe we missed that dialogue. Maybe we missed the dialogue option, I mean. He really did seem to be a fan of them. Having been alchemically created and imbued, it has the natural ability to unlock that which has been sealed with alchemy, something a skeleton key would have no hopes of achieving. The alchemist lightly tapped the key against the rim of his hat. I have no way to really know whether it will actually work or not, though. There's no accounting for how strong his defenses may be. And even if it does work, I can't say it will work more than once. The taller male folded his arms across his chest. So we must be swift and exact. Like any good alchemist, there is little room for deviation. Shall we then? Our investigation awaits, dear alchemist. It seems it does, detective. They're flirting! Someone call the flirting police. They're flirting. Wee 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 wee. The two stood in silence, the task they faced weighing heavily on their shoulders. The two men walked swift and sure through the hallways of stone. Unlike the metallic peaks of Steam Spire, Ashmire was relatively unmarked by the mechanisms of the steam machines, preferring arcana over elbow grease. A fact that made the plight A fact that made the plight of the moonflower all the sadder, for without it the kingdom could no longer maintain its lofty magic stores. A fact Nika Schuyler would think a good thing if he were not painfully aware of how losing what little the common folk had to improve their lives would devastate them. Losses were always felt by those that already had so little. You certainly know your way around the kingdom, don't you? The elf gasped in feigned shock. I am simply following you, my good sir. Yes, following me from 2 steps ahead, of course. The elf gave the alchemist a playful shove as the two approached the advisor's chambers. Perhaps I should be concerned by your memory, my friend. After all, you yourself guided your princess back through these very halls not long ago. Ah, yes, with our stalker hot on our trail. Perhaps that's simply a part of being a detective, stalking and skulking and all that. Something like that. The alchemist's tail flicked at his response, eliciting a grin from the elven detective. Does it always do that? Do what? Schuyler raised a brow, his eyes following the fixated elf. My tail? What of it? What did it do? Why is he watching it so intently? That's really cute. That's actually really, really cute. I like that. That's adorable. Goddamn. Ender chuckled. So you're not directly aware of the movements your tail makes at all times. It did that without you even realizing. Schuyler's face blushed a deep crimson red. He spun on his heel, his tail wrapping itself around his leg. Stop that! My tail is nothing more than absent-mindedness? Absent-mindedness. It does not convey anything in its motion. Think of it akin to the restless shake humans do with their limbs when they're lacking focus. Ender couldn't help but laugh as the felinist stalked off, his cheeks still flushed. He watched the... Oh. What is this? This is a new kind of speech bubble thingy. He watched the alchemist storm off in embarrassment with a grin on his face that quickly fell away. In its place was a smile that was tinged with sadness. So like her, he doesn't even realize. Aww. A sharp intellect that would keep anyone on their toes, as well as a quick wit. Despite that, he's surprisingly easy to tease and embarrass. I remember the stories Devdin used to tell as she tended the garden, the look on his face as they chatted and theorized. He loved her so much. They loved you so much. The little one playing in the dirt, singing songs to the flowers. Aww. Please forgive me for not telling you the whole truth. I sincerely hope you'll understand. If you knew now, what would you do? Would you be angry? Would you be sad? You do more than even your princess knows to right wrongs, all while taking what is not yours to bear on your shoulders. So long have I longed to meet you, you who awoke my heart. Oh, what? What the heck? Ender, are you coming, detective, or do you plan to laze about in the hallway all night? The elf's stomach lurched at the sound of his name. A light smile danced on his lips once again. Yes, forgive me, I was lost in thought. Is there anything interesting in that head of yours that you wish to share? No, nothing, I'm afraid. I was just thinking about what life in the castle must be like. A strangling of rules and stuffy traditions, mostly. The felinist kept his pace, facing ahead once again. Had he turned to speak to his new elven companion, he might have seen an expression gazing at him with absolute admiration and wonder. Always so focused. The elf stared ahead, their destination in sight. Although you hold your thoughts close, you considered this man a friend. I fear what you might discover here. Even I do not know what lies beyond those doors. Schuyler stood still, examining the large oak doors as the elf approached. This is the moment of truth, I suppose. Let us see if this thing works. I have absolute confidence in your abilities, the alchemist scoffed. Is that so? Look at it. Look at the key. This is probably the last time you're gonna get to see it. Wow, it's so pretty. Ooh, nice. Look at this key. Oh yeah, look at this weird shape. Cute little moon and a flower, because it's moonflower. Get it? Get it? Do you get it? Taking a deep breath, Schuyler slotted the imbued key in the door slot, gingerly turning it. Nothing's exploded so far, so that's good. Schuyler let out the breath he was holding, a long, relieved exhale escaping him. Let us proceed carefully. We have no idea what we might find here. Necromancer and alchemist is a frightful combination of disciplines. As the door creaked open, the weary duo crept inside, careful not to disturb anything in the room beyond. A gentle green glow flickered inside the room. Veil fire? Ooh. Ender nodded, brow knitted into a deep frown as they made their way into the room. Before them was a familiar sight, books and bottles haphazardly strewn across any available surface and candles lit with green flames. A pristinely made bed told Skylar that if Ezekiel had been staying in this room still, he had not slept in quite a while, at least not in that bed. So this is what the quarters of an alchemist looks like? I suppose some degree of mess is to be assumed. This particular alchemist, anyway. Generalization is never a good thing, detective. Rude. Calling him out. I think Skylar's laboratory was a little bit messy, actually. Perhaps it hits a little close to home. My apologies. Are you trying to ask me what my quarters look like? How scandalous. We only met this eve. Oh, the bedroom, not the laboratory. Labrador retriever. You'll attract the attention of the castle gossips if you keep this up. The taller male opened his mouth to reply before closing it once more. He repeated this several times, a motion that could only be compared to that of a gaping fish. If I didn't know better, I'd say he's flirting. Do I know better? Yes, of course I do. Let's see what's in this mess. The pair made their way further into the room, carefully stepping around the bits and pieces covering the floor. Ender chose first to examine the bed and surrounding cabinetry, with Skylar venturing in further, scanning the labels of the assorted potions before coming to a stop at the portraits hanging above the mantel. Unsettling. I wonder how these people offended to end up like this. Huh? How these people offended to end up like this? Oh. What were once skillfully painted portraits were now barely discernible. A clattering to the far side of the room caught Skylar's attention. Turning his attention to the noise, he found Ender grasping at an item tentatively balanced on a shelf. Be careful over there. Do not get too close to that plant. What plant? This plant? Aha, yes, nightshade. Oh, isn't that like a poison? Quite an aggressive choice for a houseplant. It is quite commonly used in alchemy. There are many varieties, so oh my god, I don't care! I don't care, Skylar! Shut up! Please! Much gold. Ah, yes, the key. The key had a lot of gold on it. It was very nice. Some vegetables. Aubergine is an eggplant, you know? Did you know? Did you guys know that aubergine is eggplant? I know that because I was obsessed with Gakpo in junior high and high school. I love the Vocaloid Gakpo, and his thing is eggplants. There's also, in Australia, they don't call... I thought it was a color. It could, yeah, it can also be a color. An aubergine color. Just like eggplant is a color, too. In Australia, I know that they don't call them bell peppers. They call them, like, capsicum. I wonder if they call it capsicum in England, too. Or wherever this writer is from. This, like, British English. Others, such as this one, are more commonly used in salves for muscle pain and even as a treatment to a particular aspect. Okay, got it. Wait, nightshade can be used for pain relief? Really? Ender scratched his head, contemplating. Isn't it poisonous? Skylar smiled at his innocent query. It is, as are many other ingredients used in alchemy, but utilized correctly and with the appropriate knowledge, those threats can be bypassed and something helpful can be birthed from that which was previously inhospitable. I would like to take a moment here. I've been thinking it this whole time. I have had people tell me that, like, my writing has a lot of, like, run-on sentences, or, like, it's really long and detailed, but I would like everyone who has ever commented that on my writing to take a look at this game's writing. It is very, very long and detailed, and I don't mind, because I write like that too, but reading it out loud for 3 hours is a lot. There's so much meat. It's so meaty. There's so many words that aren't really necessary. Like, you could cut this sentence alone, this last one, down to like 5 or 6 words instead of like 20. Anyway. Oh, did I even finish reading it? I don't care anymore. Capsicum is the spicy oil, isn't it? From jalapenos and such? Maybe. All I know is that it's just another word for the peppers that they talk about. Sorry, I needed more water. Amazing. Alchemy is just so fascinating. I was gifted quite a beautifully potted nightshade by Zeke several months ago, actually. I thought nothing of it at the time as an alchemist. It is present in quite a few concoctions within the recipes at my disposal, after all. Ender's mouth formed an O as he regarded the Felinus with surprise. Here's an interesting fact for you. I don't care! Did you know that there are multiple ways to look at the nightshade culturally? For example, in poetry, the nightshade often represents danger and betrayal. Likewise, in the language of flowers, a grave warning sign, or a grave warning or sign of death. Skylar nodded. Familiar with the language of flowers? Quite the expert, I would say. Such a confident proclamation. I am quite partial to the heliotrope, for example. Oh, yet another poisonous plant. The alchemist chuckled before turning back to the fireplace. Well, now I have to know what heliotrope means. Oh, he's gonna tell me. Of course he's gonna tell me, because this writing is written like a dictionary. They go into detail about every little thing. Every little tiny thing has to have its own paragraph. Following the sun where it takes them, rarely are they touched by the moon in the same way. A vibrant purple, the scent, and now I gotta see what it looks like. Where is it? Where is it? There it is. Sorry that you saw the windows I have open. Heliotrope. Oh, it's cute! It's like a cute little purple flower. Is it different from, like... What are they called? Are they azaleas? No, that's not it. What are the ones with the... No, that's not it either. What's the... They bloom in June. And they bloom in like little bursts like that, like little clumps together. It's like June and July. Oh, what flowers are those? Now I gotta know. What are they called? I'm not seeing them here. Maybe a normal Google search. No. Hydrangeas! I think that's what it is. Yeah. These ones. I like these ones. They're really cute looking. They bloom in Japan a lot. In like June. I remember because it was always around my birthday. I think when they like bloom and stuff. It's like June or July. And they're such pretty colors. They're like pink and purple and blue. I like them a lot. How cute. And they're like little tiny flowers too. I also really like roses. Roses are the birth month. I was born in June, by the way. My birthday is June 12th. So, like, roses I like. Language. What does it mean? Sincere emotions, gratitude, and deep understanding. White hydrangeas in particular convey both grace and purity in addition to more negative sentiments, including pride, vanity, and boastfulness. Pink hydrangeas carry connotations of heartfelt emotions, romance, and true feelings. So it's a very emotional flower, which makes sense because I am also a very emotional person. I'm gonna save again just to be safe. I might, yeah, having all these different saves is a little confusing, so I think I might start resaving over just number 1. That might be easier. Anyway. A vibrant purple, the scent of vanilla, my eternal love, my heart of devotion. Oh, that's what it means. The elf watched the Felinus analyze. Okay, we get it, you're in love with him. I understand. You don't have to, you know, wax poetically about your love anymore. I understand. analyzed the paintings before him. He didn't know what they were, nor did he particularly care. The sight of the focus on the face of the alchemist, his honest and wholehearted attention given to all he did. He feared what that sense of duty would lead him to. This man who so expertly disguised his pain, who gave all of himself in service to others. He and the moonflower are not so dissimilar, his very life not under his own control. If he falters, how many fall? We are running out of time. The elf readjusted his vest, attempting to calm himself. If this was how he felt, how must Skylar feel with so much depending on his actions this night? What are you looking at, by the way? The elf carefully made his way to the painting sitting above the mantel. In all honesty, I'm not entirely sure. He gestured to the largest of the images, an oval-shaped painting. Its contents... That's not the right it's! That's not the right it's! Dude, hire me as an editor. I will fix all your typos. Jeez. Its contents smudged beyond recognition. I believe this was the king, though it's hard to tell beyond all the smudges. The king? Why would he have a portrait of the king in his personal room? Skylar made a face. They're in all the rooms, and none are the same one twice. Oh. Ender regarded the defaced portrait with fascination. So you have one too? Skylar. Not anymore. The elf chuckled. What did you do with it? I want to know. I want to know too. Skylar felt a tall figure approaching from the side, Ender making his way to the fireplace from his position next to the nightshade. My lord? A teasing glint flashed in the elf's eyes. Oh boy. I hid it in a cupboard, alright? Ender snorted before covering his face in surprise, as if even he hadn't expected such a sound to leave him. Ha! A cupboard! Not the most original hiding spot, but I suppose it works. I didn't know what else to do with it. It's hideous and just... It's like it stares at you, following you around the room wherever you go. Seeing him during the day is tiresome enough. The last thing I want is him watching me at all hours. Ender continued his cackling at the alchemist's distress. Yes, yes, very funny. Laugh at the poor alchemist. Skylar shook his head in exasperation, smiling at the elf despite himself. Even at my expense, I want to hear him laugh more. Dude, they totally love each other. Just fuck already. Come on. What a lovely sound. Thought caught the Felinus off guard, a pale dusting of pink spreading across his cheeks. What has gotten into me? Ever since I saw him, I've been acting like a blushing maiden. Absolutely ridiculous. Still, is it so bad to be drawn to him? Perhaps I have been in the company of mortals for too long. Do you think this was done purposefully? I can't do a low voice anymore. They're all gonna have the same voice. I'm sorry. Or perhaps a side effect of something else that he was doing in here. Skylar, still ruminating on his bubbling emotions, failed to offer a response. Are you alright? The elf reached towards the Felinus, placing the back of his hand on the forehead of the other man. Of the other man's. I can't even speak correctly. Huh? What are you doing? Snapping out of his trance, the alchemist dodged backwards before resting a hand against his chest. Forgive me, you startled me. I was deep in thought and had not expected to be touched. To be so distracted in such a potentially dangerous place. Wait, why was he distracted? Oh, he was thinking about fucking this guy. Alright. My apologies for frightening you. I truly did not mean to. No, you have nothing to apologize for. My senses were dulled in thought. Being snapped back to reality so suddenly, I didn't realize it was you. I think I wouldn't mind being touched by him. Of course you wouldn't! Dude, like, forget about this whole mystery. Let's just go to the alchemist's bedroom. Like, we should be headed there anyway. I don't think we need to linger here any longer. I think I know where this is headed. A shy smile danced on Skylar's lips. Well, I don't think there's any answers in the paintings, as strange as they are. Sorry, you asked something about them, didn't you? I did, yes, if you thought the melting was intentional. Oh, the melting. Ah, likely. For all three to be identical in their ruin, possibly an experiment to test the potency of something. The two men glanced at the green flames flickering around them, their eyes landing on an intricate, sprawling sigil carved into the tile floor. That seems like something we should approach with absolute caution. Agreed. Let's look around first. Perhaps something else in here will give us an idea of what it is and how to respond to it. Any arcane circle is dangerous when both unattended and unknown. Do you think it has a defense mechanism? Surely leaving it here is unwise. Almost certainly. Come, we'll deal with it last. Ender nodded. Where do we start? You haven't started already? Oh, okay. Let's just go in order from like top left to right, left to right. Oh boy, we gotta examine the whole room. Gotta figure out what every little thing is and what it does. What is this? The detective stretched his long limbs in an attempt to gesture towards the large skull displayed at the top of the narrow shelves. A wyvern? Oh my god, Sir Amric is talking about dragons. Who would have thought? That's crazy. Skylar approached the cabinet, carefully stepping around the debris on the floor. It appears so. Zeke was quite taken by ancient creatures. I remember his excitement at obtaining this. Wyverns really are spectacular creatures. The sight of a wyvern gliding through the air, moonlight glittering off its scales like bright stars. Absolutely spectacular. The elf closed his eyes, tilting his chin toward the ceiling, lost in the action of a memory. Skylar watched beside him, a deep curiosity overcoming him. A vivid depiction indeed. The illustrations would paint them as savage lizards at best. Savage lizards at best. It gets harder and harder. I think I need to drink more water. Alright. Wyverns, they are intelligent and fierce to be sure, but savage? That doesn't sound right to me. They care little for conversation, true, but compliment one of their beautiful scales and you'll be occupied for hours. Yet another difference to how they're referenced in historic texts. You claim them to be attractive creatures. What? I suppose they're both regal and incredible. Their scales come in all colors imaginable, so I guess that would class them as attractive. Their scales are a potent component in alchemy, as I'm sure you know, even more so willingly offered. The alchemist made a face tinged with confusion and doubt, returned with a matching one by the detective. You speak as if they still exist. You speak as if they do not. He is old and secluded enough to not know the dragon kind have been gone for nigh on a century? Oh. A realization overcame Ender as he shook his head. Of course, right, you are correct. Mere stories now. Sometimes I get caught up in visions of the past. Forgive me and think nothing of it. Visions of the past? Lived or acquired? Alright, we did that one. Check it off the list. Candle time. The pair approached the central table, which was covered in books, bottles, and stacks of papers. The most noticeable of all, the still-lit candles nestled at the center. Skylar crouched beside the table, gently swiping his finger through the unnatural green flame. Veil fire. I've never seen it used so casually before. Ender joined him at his spot on the floor. Casually? Lighting candles and leaving them lit? He has an impeccable control over his newfound ability. I can't help but wonder how long he's been able to do this. The last I heard tale of veil fire, a great tragedy had passed. The elf stared into the flame as he spoke, refusing to meet the Felinus' gaze, avoiding the curious glance at his slip. I heard a devastating green flame had been utilized in an attack on the palace not long after the previous moon fair. A dark shadow fell over Skylar's soft face, his lip curled into a snarl. There's never been an attack by Fey kind against the palace. Veilfire is unique to Blood Fey, you know this, you mentioned it yourself. Even if one could cross into Ashmire territory, the energies of the moonflower would repel one getting too close. The elf frowned. The moonflower holds no hostility towards other Fey. And do you know this how exactly? Yo, you're still streaming? Dang, I was scared I'd miss it. Yeah. Were you working this whole time? Oh my god, another drink. Time to take a drink, Nyan. Oh yeah. It's so tasty. I love water. I'm streaming Moonflower. I told you, it's a visual novel. To quickly explain. Oh, I was working and also trapped in a conversation with Mima. I know you meant it as Mima, but it's like Mima. Mima and Peepaw. Anyway, we are this cat boy. The cat boy is an alchemist, and the king just got assassinated. And this elf boy is really flirting with us, really coming on to us. I think he loves us, but he's also a detective. So we're trying to figure out who killed the king. That's pretty much all you need to know for now. There's also this thing called the moonflower that's really powerful, and there's a moon fair. Yeah, a moon fair that was happening, and this was like the first night of festivities, and the king got fucking murked. So that's what we're doing. Murder turns me on. The elf? No, I don't think he's turned on from the murder. I think he's turned on by the cat boy. I think the elf, now this might be spoilers, but I'm at the same point in the story that everyone else in chat is at right now, and here's what I think. I think the elf knew the cat boy's mom, because he mentioned seeing the cat boy when he was like a child, and so I think he's a very, very old elf, and he watched over the cat boy as a child, and now he's back for some reason. I mean, there is a lot happening, and he does claim to be a detective, so that could be why, but... Oh, so it's a Mifa X Link thing. Yes... I've said it before, but it's been a while since I played Breath of the Wild, so I'm not... I think so. I think so? Oh yeah, Link saw her... Or no, Mifa saw Link as like a little boy? Or Link saw Mifa as a child? I can't remember. Anyway, Ender looked away awkwardly, unable to think of an answer. Oh, and he just fucked up. He made a slip saying that like the veil fire, this green fire, is suspicious. So that's what we're talking about. Just what is your connection to the moonflower? Okay, oh, also we're investigating the person who we think did it. This is his bedroom, so we're investigating his bedroom. What does a madman read, I wonder? Perhaps the babbling tome of insanity or the codex of chaos? Oh my god. The older one ages like way slower and met the younger one as a kid, and then the younger one comes back after maturing, which is like 2 years of age for the older one, and then the older one is all hot and bothered. Yes. Yes, that's correct. Yeah, it's like that, I think. That's what I think. He hasn't, like, told Skylar this, but we've had, like, an insight into his mind a few times. Anyway. The elf almost giggled to himself. Tee-hee? Tee-hee-hee-hee-hee. Is he a madman, though? How else would you describe him? Skylar paused, formulating an acceptable answer. I think he's mad now, yes, but I know not how to explain it without sounding complicit. A frustrated Skylar raked his fingers. Racked? I don't think that's how you spell raked. It feels like borderline creepy, so it's got to be done really well to not give me the ick. Yeah, because it gives off, like, predator vibes. Like, child predator vibes. But, like, if it's, you know... Plus, I think they were separated for a while, so like, I don't think that the elf boy, like, fell in love with the child cat boy. I don't think that's how it is. Like, groomy sort of. Yeah, I don't think it's like that from what I know so far, but I don't know a whole lot. So we'll see. Raked his fingers down his face in frustration. Nothing more. Oh, also he has a artificial limb made out of porcelain with like gold veins. That's what that is, in case you were wondering. He's special. He's a special cat boy. He's a special cat boy alchemist. Nothing we're finding is showing a descent to madness. They show the life of a man with too many interests and responsibilities. I suppose these books support your claim. History mostly, but there's geology, politics, alchemy, medicine, books and tomes and articles on anything and everything. He is quite skilled at all these things. A man of many talents. You have lost a friend. I do not know that friend is the correct term. He paused, contemplating how to continue. He was intelligent, thoughtful, and bitterly opposed to the court. Opposed? How does a man opposed to the court achieve the position of advisor? Question I've always asked myself. The king liked to keep people close with smart minds, even if those people did not want to be there. And the queen? The queen has ever been defiant of the court, preferring to act independently of them. She has not been seen or heard from in several months, however. Wait, I thought the queen was dead. I thought the queen died. Why did they talk about... What? She has not been seen or heard from. Did she run away? Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to read. I've been reading for so long, Mushy. Like, if the younger one grows up and then is suddenly the same physical age as the older one, and the older one isn't like 10,000 years old and like has been an adult the entire time, then it's more okay. Like the older one was the equivalent of 13 when the younger one was 4, and then suddenly they're both 18 at the same time. Sorry, big paragraphs. I can't even retain any. You have to realize I've been reading and reading and reading for the past 3 hours. I can barely retain what's going on in the story. I feel like I'm kind of slowly going insane. Brain hurty hours, gotcha. I get what you're saying, though. There's definitely a creepiness if they don't do it right. You know what'll make you feel better? What? If you make me drink water again, I'm gonna scream. I've had enough water, Mushy. Do not make me drink any more water. Only nya. Oh god. Alright. I'm gonna read. I'm gonna read. But it's gonna be nya. Keep going. Oh my god. Do I not have a timer set on that? How many fucking points do you have? Jesus Christ. Yeah? Paranormal activity. Yeah, I think that's... Has it been more than 2 minutes? Has it been 2 minutes? Let me see. At 51. I hope the revert to kitty cat helps reset your reading exhausted brain. I think it did. Oh yeah, we have 3 minutes ago and 1 minute ago, so the time is up. Their entries, the entries continued more and more. Oh my god. That is the opposite of helping my brain because I'm gonna break it again. entries に日記のあれが続いてもっともっとパニックってパニックしてるようにもっと詳しく One left the pair feeling sick to their stomachs 日記のエントリー書き込み日記の日記に書いてあった言葉が二人ともをなんだろう病気になった感じで残した This is like Google Translate levels of translation, by the way. Until finally they reach the end. Until 終わりについたまでその病気の感じが続きました。A curse on the original king. 元のキングの元の王様に呪い There's always been something hidden, something protected that the problem is these are such long ass sentences. Unlocked a random emote and got the best one. You got the beans! Congratulations on your beans! Hell yeah! I think you broke the chat on the screen. There you go. Oh, whoa. This will be the last one I say in Japanese. To erase. 歴史、いつも何かが隠られて何か守られてその歴史がそれを消すために書かれました。There you go, my shabby Japanese. I subbed for these bean solidarity. I will add to the beans. Beans, the magical fruit. To erase. This would explain it. Did anyone get the last like 5 minutes of story? Because I don't. It's totally over my head. How possible? Beans are not a fruit. They're not? And also no. How possible do you think it is that this curse is blood-based? So the king is cursed or something. I don't know. There's been a history of curses. This feels like a Draw Tectives game. Is it? I don't know. Highly, and if the moonflower repels it, all the more reason to build a society around it. Oh. A low grumble escaped Ender's throat. Grrr. The moonflower holds no such malice against the blood fae. Why would it? You claim that which you cannot know. Unless you have ties with the moonflower itself, that is. Beans are legumes like peanuts. Oh, really? I guess that's why they have so much protein. I sure wish I could eat beans, but my low FODMAP diet has me staying away from beans. I just want a bean burrito, man. But I can't eat a bean burrito. Damn it. It has to be like rice. But that aside, malice or not, the moonflower has already been in opposition to those who choose to reside in the after realm. Oh, sorry, in the altar realm. Darkness is their forte. Their magic is derived from death. Dude, I'm not catching any of this. I think now is a good time to... I mean, it's a little weird to stop here. But, because we're right in the middle of an investigation. But it is the end of stream time. Oh, it really quit the game. Damn. Like peanuts. Beans make me shit myself. I should probably avoid them too. If you want, I could send you the pictures of the diet my GI doctor gave me, so you can try it too if you want. Or you could just Google a low FODMAP diet. Dude, stop whenever games like this are brain hurty. Yeah, it's hard. I don't even want to say words anymore. These are the social media stuff I have. Yay. Go look on the, go look at my art Twitter. Go look at my art Twitter for the new fanfiction I wrote. It's great. Here's the stream schedule. Today was Wildcard Wednesday. You know what that means? That the next stream is gonna be Final Fantasy XIV, baby! Yay! And then also I have these things on my YouTube channel that are 30-minute videos. You can see the first moonflower video I did there. You see it's actually the first, when I took this screenshot, it was the video on top of the playlist. Also, me and Mushy have a YouTube channel. I guess maybe I should make an ad for this too. Oh, oops. I just Googled mushy peaches and I got like, how can you tell if a peach is like is bad? How can you tell if a peach has gone bad or whatever? Anyway, we have 4 up now. A new one just dropped yesterday. Peachy is forklift certified, but bad at lasers in unsolved case. Oh yeah, I was really bad at the laser one. These are great. Go look at these videos. This one is longer because we didn't know that we were playing like the demo version of the game. So it went on a bit longer than we thought. But enjoy. It's like more for you to enjoy, you know? So yeah. I think there we go. Yeah. Yeah. Yes, give me your diet restrictions so I can send you foods. I think I can tell when this particular peach has gone a little mushy. Yeah, I am exhausted. I'm exhausted and it's time for me to leave. Thank you for coming to my stream. I appreciate every single one of you. Even if there are people who watch and don't say anything, I appreciate you too. Thank you for being a viewer. Thank you to anyone who watches my silly, silly streams. I appreciate it, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye!